Next is going to be Hendershot, James Hendershot. James is running for District 3 Parkersburg City Council, which happens to be my particular district right now. But most of you know that I'm not running for county. Ugh.
Good,
Hi, Rick.
easy to say.
I'm not running for city council anymore.
Speak up.
And there's JJ.
Oh, there we go.
What's up, Mister?
Hello.
We were just talking about you.
All right, sounds good. Is everything working on
your end?
Then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Roger's having a bit of a problem. We had Roger on for the last half hour.
Right. I was watching. Right.
And but what was I saying, Rick?
I'm sitting here looking at all the technical stuff that's going on. I lost what you were saying.
I totally lost where I was going with it, mister. But anyway, like I said, most of you know that I'm not going to run for city council. James is going to run for District 3, and we're going to bring him on, and James is going to kind of let us know where he's at and what he's thinking about his vision for the city of Parkersburg. And which, by the way, y'all know I'm running for Board of Education as well. But I want to have a big major summit like Roger and I discussed earlier. Roger's a very smart man. Roger, I mean, and I'm not just saying that. Roger's a very smart man.
Right.
And he knows what he's talking about, and I appreciate him. And so what are you thinking, Jim? James, what do you want to go by? Jim, James, Hank,
James, Jay, whatever. Yeah. As long as you vote, for Hendershot on the ballot, that's all right with me. No. Thank you again, Bob, Rick, for having me on. For those who don't know, I'm born and raised. I'm a little bit younger than you probably think for people that are running, but don't let it trick you. I've been real busy the last few months. Bob knows that I've talked with him. I've been attending every single meeting, making sure I know everything, going out and speaking to the people, making sure I know what their thoughts are, because ultimately that's what matters. They're the ones who decide who gets in, who votes, and I want to earn their vote. So their concerns are my concerns. I want to hear their solutions, their ideas, because ultimately, like I said, that's what matters. If they choose to put me on the council, I want to follow what they want. People of District 3, the people of Parkersburg, ultimately their challenges, their situations are what I want to care about, and that's what I'm going to focus on till through May, and then even when I get on the council, and when I win in November, and all the way through.
Well, one thing is that in pretty much what you just said, you work for them. They don't work for you.
Absolutely.
And that's what I always told them. When I became a city councilman, one of the things I told them on the council when I was up there in the council chamber there,
right,
I don't work for you. I mean, I work for you guys. You don't work for me. You don't. Right. I don't tell you what it's going to be. You tell me what you want.
Absolutely.
And you and I've discussed many things. You've got to listen, but at the same time, Jim, you've got to understand that. And one of the things that I told you, and it was told to me, one of the very first things that Connie, the city clerk, told me, and this sticks with me all the time. Mm-hmm. Out there looking up is totally different from it is up there looking out. What you may see in the audience is like, my God, that's simple. Up there, it may not be, and you can ask Roger. Roger's been probably on more of the ends of this than I have. It's totally different. The ones sitting in the audience, the people that we work for, don't know the behind the story. We try to give it to them, but it's just, like council gets blamed for some things that absolutely we have no control over, but you can't tell anybody that because they don't believe it. Oh, yeah, well, it's council's fault, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, tell me what you're thinking, sir. What's going on that you would like to see changed about the way things are? And I know one of the things I want to do before I leave there is make it a nonpartisan position. What's your thought on that?
I've heard kind of back and forth. To my knowledge, I believe Vienna is nonpartisan. Their city council. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I was looking at, they are. And I think I can see where it makes sense. And I think it's definitely something that if the people think it's a great idea, and from people, what I've discussed with people, some people think it's a good idea and are confused why it's even partisan to begin with, because the people obviously know what they want, but I feel like there'll be some people who may be, if I can think of the word here, what I'm trying to say, they will be more, they'll keep more well informed on the people by name. They won't just vote for, DNR. And I think the people, I mean, they'll vote for whoever they want and whoever earned their vote. But I do think it's something that could be explored at the very least. Like I said, Vienna does it, and to my knowledge, it works pretty well. For the most part, people are happy with the process, whether they're happy with the result or not.
The only reason I say that is because, I'm a Republican, have been all my life, and it doesn't make a difference one way or another.
Right.
We are everybody's council person. We're
Absolutely.
not just Republican council people, Democrats, independents, anybody.
Right.
That's our jobs, is to take care of everybody. It's a bit of a different world, so to speak, James.
Right.
One thing you need to, one thing that you'll understand when you become, if you become a city councilman, is that you'll not hear from a lot of people.
Right.
Until something happens.
Until something's.
If they show up, you're like, I mean, you can ask anybody on council. If we get a packed room in there, I'm going, what's going on? Is there something?
Right. Right.
But as far as your age, I was sad, and I didn't know this till the other day. I think you told me. Mike Hess dropped out of the race.
He did.
And I talked to him. I said, Mike, what's going on? Well, he told me his reasoning why.
Right.
I don't agree with that particular reason because that's not necessarily the fact. But whatever Mike thinks, Mike's a great young man.
Right.
And when I first met Mike 7 years ago, James, he was still in high school.
Right.
And he amazed me.
Right.
How up to date. And the thing about it is, James, we need young blood in there. We need people. It's like, and I'll use this and I'll let you talk. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be talking all the time, but here's what I think. It's like the pavilion. It's a city park. We're putting a new activity center in there.
Right.
Okay. Now, people ask me why that building served its generation.
Right.
Us older people served our generation. Now it's time for you, young people, to come in and serve the upcoming generations to make Parkersburg the place to be, the place that people want to be. Thoughts?
Right. The funny thing with the event center, around the time that was more publicly announced, we were doing I'm a student up at WVUP. We were doing a marketing project, and that was my idea. We had to come up with a business idea for the area. And I said, well, why not an event center? And then the next day, they announced the event center.
Yeah.
But I agree, and that's one of the reasons I decided to run instead of helping with somebody else. I saw Michael announced around just before I did, and I had seen him. I had worked with him and attended some stuff for his campaign in 2022 when he was running for, I believe, county clerk. And the thing that most sort of stuck with me, and it's a quote I kind of try to spread around, is be the change you want to see. So that, along with, I want to be the voice that regardless of the outcome, if I'm running and somebody my age or somebody maybe just coming out of high school, they see this 21-year-old by the time election rolls around, decided to go out, run for office, and try. And whether win or lose, they tried and they put in the effort and they went out, talked to people, tried to do everything they could within their capabilities. I want to inspire them to maybe be the next person come the next election, or maybe not even just for elections, but just to go out, volunteer, go out and do something as part of their community and just step up and be that change. Because ultimately we need that in Parkersburg. I talked for a long time with different people my age. A lot of people have issues, but a lot of people don't do anything about their issues with the area. And I want to at least give it a fair shot and let the people decide. Do they want to elect me? Do they not? It's up to them. But I want to at least give it the fair shot and inspire others to do the same exact thing.
Yeah. Well, when I first started running 7 years ago, James, um, one of the big things everybody asked me was, why do you want to put yourself into that position?
Right.
Well, my mom always told me there's two things you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You could sit back and whine about it,
Right.
or you could do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
If you sit back and whine about it and don't do anything about it, Rick and I've talked about this before. If you've got something to say when you come to council, if we're not doing it right, bring a solution with you.
Right.
Bring something with you that's going to that you'll be able to say, look, I don't agree with this for this, and here may be something that you guys can take a look at, because again, we work for them, but at the same time, they don't know what's going on. But you'll find that you'll earn their respect if you listen to them, and don't tell them something you can't do. We've discussed it. You and I discussed that.
Right.
You know, don't, because they'll remember that. That. And me, I'm out. I haven't been for a little bit, but I used to be out in my district twice a week. I'd hit the district. My wife would go with me, and she'd write down things. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is going, this is wrong, this is wrong. Then I'd turn it into the proper person. Now we have the new Connect Parkersburg, the new app,
Right.
where we can go down, take a picture of it, and send it right to the department that needs it, and they have so many days to reply. So that's a good plus. So what do you think? What would you like to see happen to Parkersburg, James? What do you see? What do you think you would like? Let me put this correctly. What
If you had a magic wand, what would you wave it over?
Thank you.
Well, it's something that a lot of people my age or maybe a little bit older talked about, and I think it's getting better, which is good, and I think that's due to the work of our council, our committees, our board, our just everybody. Is in certain fields there's not a lot of upward growth if you're just starting. Now, I've spoken to a few different people. A lot of people work, they'll be able to find entry level, but there's not a lot of upward mobility without leaving. Like you were saying earlier with our police departments, a lot of people can go over to Belpre or go over somewhere else and make more money. So why would they stay here? So I want to be able to kind of promote that. I mean, I obviously, can't do everything. It's a council of 9, and I don't have all the solutions. That's why we listen to the people, because they may have a better solution than I could ever think of.
Exactly.
But
that's the way to go into it.
Yeah, if I could make one change, if I had the ability to do so, it would just be to help stimulate just job growth and upward mobility in the amazing companies we already have in the town.
Right. Well, that's a good thought, and that would be something to really work on.
Right.
There's just a lot of things that we need to do, and
right. And there's a lot of factors that get in the way, which is like you said. But we don't.
Everybody's suffering. Everybody needs people.
Right.
And what's weird, and I don't know if you've heard this or not, but we have so many people that are hiring, and I get a lot of people telling me, Bob, I put applications in, not one person's called me back, but people are needing people. And I'm like, I don't understand that. I don't understand. But Parkersburg needs to work with the county.
Right.
Work with Vienna, work with Williamstown.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like I mentioned, the summit and your grandmother, right? Debbie?
Yeah.
She likes the idea. And we need to get council together with everybody, all the councils, all the mayors, county commission, board of education, and we need to really come up with a forward plan, not only for our city, James, but for the entire community, county of Wood.
Absolutely.
And that could be something that could really promote. I mean, if they see us working together, I'm not talking about a metro government.
Right.
That was brought up a long time ago, kind of squashed. And some people had good ideas, some did not. But we still, even as not a metro government, we still need to work together with each other. And we need to make sure that the city of Parkersburg has a plan going forward the county has their plan. Each city has their have a county-wide plan, and that may
Right.
be something that you might, as a city councilman, that you might be able to take a look at and spearhead and say, look, we got to do this, people.
Right. Definitely. I mean, communication is the first step forward to actually having a clear and concise plan, working with the county and the city. You can't be clashing all the time, and then people just. It's a county of, I believe, over 80,000. If the last time I looked at the numbers, so it's a lot of people, a lot of ideas. You just got to come together and make it happen. I think the summit's a great idea, at least a good start to get things rolling. I think it's a
Well,
very important thing to do.
I still have one more year, and before the time
Right.
that year's up, I'm going to get with Debbie, your
Right.
grandmother,
Mhm.
and I'm going to get with everybody else, and I'm going to make it happen. So we'll definitely bring you in on it,
Right.
and bring your ideas, bring Mikey in,
Love to.
even though
Right.
Mike's not going to run. That that young man, he's an amazing young man,
He has great ideas. He's
and he
still
has
he's
great
still heavily
ideas,
involved.
and he's a
Right.
forward-looking person. He's a
Right.
forward-looking individual, but there's so many things that we need to take a look at. Um, I like I said, I'm not running. I'm running for Board of Education. I'd love to get on there and work
Right.
with Debbie. I,
Right.
I exactly, Debbie. Teamwork for a plan to succeed.
Absolutely.
Failure is not an option.
Absolutely
You
not.
know, you as a young person, our young generation is the future of what's happening in Parkersburg.
Right.
And you know, they always say that each generation should leave it a little bit better than they found it.
Right.
I'm not sure where that's at on our end. I mean, we've tried really hard. I mean, city council, we're trying to deal with the homeless. We're trying to deal with the drugs, which you will get a lot of. And
Right.
and if I can give you any bit of advice, James, it would be don't take it personal.
Right.
You're going to be called a crook. I, you
Right.
know, I can look you in the face and say I've never stolen anything from anybody in my life. And for people to go on Facebook and say city council lines their pockets with our money, pal, if you want what I make every 2 weeks, come get it.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
you're not going to get rich on the city council. I
Yeah.
promise you that. And I know you understand that. And I'm not,
Yeah.
but
It ain't about the money. No.
yeah, it's got to be about the people. And
Absolutely.
and you got to make them believe that, not just say it and go on.
Right.
They have to know that that's how you feel as a city councilman.
Right.
And so I'm kind of looking forward to seeing where you go with this, sir.
Thank you. I
really
appreciate
am.
it.
I If I can help you at all, I'm right here. All you got to do is
Right.
ask.
I appreciate it.
If you want to drive around the district one day, we can do that.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
a huge
It
district.
is. It's one of the bigger districts, but
I,
I'm determined.
I absolutely did not realize how huge it was till I started driving it.
Right.
And it is something else because you think, well, that's mine over there. They
Yeah.
have like District 4. Some of theirs runs in the south side. Some of theirs runs into
Right.
4th Avenue, Old Camden, the
Right.
side streets up to the right there. And but yeah, it's huge. And if if you ever want to go, I'll take you around. Because you're going to see that people are going to put you on speed dial. Trust me.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
they expect. I mean, it's hard to do all the time,
Right.
but they expect it yesterday.
Right.
So is there anything you want to say? Is there anything you'd like to tell everybody? Do you have a Facebook page or an event page? I didn't ask Roger because we got mixed up. Something happened to his. Roger, if you're listening, if you can hear us, if you can chat, send us something on chat. If you have a web page, James, do you have one, buddy?
Yeah, I do have a Facebook page. If I can find the link, I will send it to you or put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat. Now
But,
Rick can put it.
yeah, I do have a Facebook page. It's just named James Hendershot, but I will send it in the chat here. I try to keep everything updated on there, things I'm attending, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also working on some stuff that's in progress for some YouTube stuff. But because I'm a bit younger, I'm trying to put something together to attract those people to actually go out and vote. Because that's another thing, is a lot of younger people. I've talked to them, even my close friends. They didn't vote. They didn't vote in 2022. You know, all of us were of age to do so. I went and voted, both in the primary and the general, but not a lot of people, not a lot of them do. Some of them aren't even registered. I just got somebody registered who thought it was a whole strenuous process. You go down, you'll be done in probably 10 minutes.
Right, right.
So, but if I can find this here, I will send it.
Just send it to us. Is there anything you'd like to say or anything? Or anything you'd like for the people to know about you? Or
Don't let my youth deter you. I would say it lets me bring a renewed energy and a new idea to the city council, new ideas, new perspective. And I think we need all perspectives on the city council. I think we have a great council. I think we've had a great council, and I think with everyone new and returning after 2024, it'll be another great council to get a lot of great things done. Hopefully, I'm a part of it. Hopefully, I earn your vote.
no, that's awesome. And like I said, buddy, I'll be here if you need anything. And
Right. I
with
appreciate
that,
it.
we appreciate you, Debbie. I promise I want to get with you, Debbie, and try to work something out with this summit, and get everybody involved, because it's a now or never thing, I think. And so I'm looking forward to dealing with it. So James, good to talk to you, buddy. Thank you so much for coming on.
Anytime.
And I'll tell you, right there we go. And I'll tell you what, if you need, after things start picking up, if you want to come back on,
Right.
please let me know.
Absolutely.
We'll
I'm
always
always
make,
available.
we'll make time for everybody, Roger. And we're going to try to get as many people, state,
Right.
county, and local. And
Yep. All important.
so, buddy, you take care. If you need anything,
All right.
you know where we're at, okay?
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
All right.
Yes,
That was pretty cool.
it
That was
was.
pretty cool.
It was.